this is the greatest thing that has happened in American television history. Not just professional wrestling, but American television history. Cameron Grimes stacking money to the moon. The greatest thing ever. Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. Grab your seat, pull up around the roundtable for our next pay-per-view roundtable review. This time, we are talking about NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. It is from February 14th, 2021. 5-match card, and this one was a doozy. I am back once again with the connoisseur of all reporting, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
What's up, guys? How you like my my ode to Bad Bunny?
Romeo Bunny.
That sounds awful.
Bad Cologne.
Also awful. We'll work on that.
The Rabbit Report.
Oh my God.
And we have with us an expert on all elite wrestling, the co-host of AE Recap with Jimmy McElram. He is the owner and creator of My Battery is Dying YouTube channel, the Fringe Heel, Marcus Cash.
Hi. I don't have a witty intro, but thanks for having me.
This is a reminder to you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, your friends, your family. Of course, there is the subscribe button or the iCard. You can click on that to subscribe. Thank you once again for helping us reach our 1K milestone. And we're going to be pushing ahead. And the next stop is 2K. So help us along with that journey by subscribing or telling someone else to subscribe, and of course push the bell, because that is how you stay notified for all the great content right here on True Heel Heat. So like I said, Takeover Vengeance Day was quite the show. Romeo, you are the quarterback, the pilot, and the driver in the DeLorean on True Rewind, and the quarterback on Wednesday Night Warriors, so take it away.
Let's start with the intro, which had just Josiah Williams rapping like a poem, a Valentine's Day poem. He mentioned everybody on the card. What'd you think of that?
I like his contributions to NXT. On the regular, it's usually successful, and this was a nice, fun open to the show.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I like how it touched on everybody on the show. I like that he even gave nods to people of past NXT as well. You know, never forget where you came from. I think it was really well done. I wouldn't mind this being like a pay-per-view thing where we just get like a little music video montage. It's a lot better than generic rock song and brought to you by Snickers and whatever, right? Like, give us a music video. That's pretty cool.
Earn that paycheck, Josiah.
Also, I do want to note that this was Josiah's, out of 2 music videos, this was his second best performance of the night.
Wow. The first match was Women's Dusty Cup Finals. Dakota Kai, Raquel versus Shotzi Blackheart. Ember Moon, Raquel, and Dakota win after Raquel's one-arm powerbomb to Shotzi. This match went 17 minutes, 39 seconds. Dakota and Raquel do a double pin on Shotzi to ensure the victory. And they're the first ever Women's Dusty Classic winners, and I think well-deserved out of all the tag teams that were in the Women's Cup. I'll start with you, Marcus. You going to give Shotzi some credit here? I think she was botch-free. Yeah, I know you hate Shotzi. I thought they delivered a hell of a match here.
It's not a hate. It's disappointment to the overhype. But she did well enough in this match. I really enjoyed this match. Everybody played their roles really well. Shotzi was not one of the 3 most egregious things of the night. So hats off to her. Except my hair is not done, so I'm not going to actually do it. Kudos to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I'm excited that they're the first female Dusty Cup winners and that they're going to get this shot at some point among the other 2 number 1 contenders to the women's tag team titles. So I'm here for it. I want to see it. I'm hoping it's not on NXT and we get Raquel and Dakota showing up on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, to address that last part, I don't think that's how the brands work. Only the women's tag team champions can go from brand to brand, not the people that are on the. Well,
Invitational.
they never do the invitational thing with NXT. It's always considered an evasion when an NXT or a call up when an NXT person comes up on the main roster. Second, I'm disappointed in myself because I said from the beginning of the Women's Dusty Cup that Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were going to win. They should win. They were the best tag team in this tournament. And then on True Hill Heat 112, I voted against that, and I voted for Ember Moon. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself because I thought too much because I was like, no, there's women's tag team champions, so they're gonna verse babyface winners of the Dusty Cup. You gotta have the celebration and stuff. But I like the whole story of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, how they've come together, how they formed this team for over a year, and then have their big moment here. Overall, this match was tremendous. This was one of the better opening matches to a takeover in quite some time, and this set a real great tone for the rest of the night. There was a lot of action involved. This was a kind of a reverse on the formula, on the tag team formula, with the heels of Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai getting the hot tag. The babyface dominated Dakota Kai, and then Raquel Gonzalez came in like she was one of the Road Warriors and ran wild on both ladies. Ember Moon looked great. They didn't make her look like this unstoppable heel in Raquel Gonzalez because she looked beatable because Ember Moon got the visual pinned on her after the eclipse. Shotzi Blackheart looked good. Like you said, she was not as botchy as she usually is. She did have the slice bread where she almost killed herself and almost landed on her neck. But other than that, all four of these ladies delivered. All four of these ladies look great. But Raquel Gonzalez is once again the MVP and the star. The fact that she is a homegrown NXT woman from the Performance Center and how far she's come in the last 4 years is just a real big credit to everyone at the Performance Center and her hard work to become this fully developed character and performer.
I gave this match 4 stars. It could have been a little hot. There were a couple of hiccups. The part where Ember threw Dakota into Raquel and then did a leg lariat to Raquel. Dakota just takes a DDT when nobody really gave it to her. I don't know if you noticed that spot. It looked kind of silly. It looked bad. And then after Shotzi dives on the outside to Dakota, you could see the cameraman. This is just bad production. It's got it on Ember Moon, and she's just calling out the next spot to Raquel, talking. You talk too much. You're talking way too much.
Way too much.
But I thought the second half they really picked it up, and I thought it was it exceeded my expectations. And 61% of you who voted on the True Hill Heat Instagram page were correct that Dakota and Raquel won. I don't know if you guys want to give star ratings as well.
I gave this 4 stars. This was, like I said, a tremendous opener, and all 4 of these ladies should be proud of their effort.
I'll give it actually 4.25. I thoroughly enjoyed this, especially as a women's tag team match. I did give it a little bit of a bump because those can go really bad. Raquel'd it. It's like I said, the prospects of what can come from this are exciting, right? With Dakota and Raquel, and maybe Ember finds that push that she seemed like she was going to have when they gave her this big re-debut, because that kind of disappeared. Maybe there's animosity between her and Shotzi now, right? We'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Yes or no? Do you think Dakota and Raquel are successful in their challenge for the Women's Tag Team Championships on the main roster?
I don't think so right now, but I do see them with the belts. To their credit, the minimal credit I'll give the women's tag team titles, they don't seem to hotshot the belts as of yet.
Should they? Yes. Will they? More than likely, no. But I think that they're a lot closer as a unit. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they're closer to be getting called up to the main roster than they are to winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, because I think when they go to the main roster, then they will win those titles. I just don't see them winning it as NXT stars, but I feel like they're getting a real big push. and there's other female talent coming in from other places, as well as from younger stars on the independent scene coming into NXT right now, and I think it's a good time to push them up to that main roster.
Next match, North American Championship, Johnny Gargano versus Kushida. And while the Way is making their way to the ring, Austin Theory disappears sometime between backstage to the entrance. Breaking news, I just saw on social media, on Twitter, that Dexter Lumis has a new profile pic on Austin Theory's Twitter account.
So Dexter Lumis ran up behind Austin Theory with basically a chloroform.
Well, I saw that. I saw that. I didn't see the social media post.
This match, a lot of work in the arm by Kushida, setting up for the hoverboard lock. I thought I don't know what else to call this, the hammerlock suplex that Kushida did on Gargano.
God,
that was beautiful.
That was great.
Johnny Gargano with the twisting suplex off the middle rope, also nice. Kushida springboard elbow, which Johnny counters into a Russian leg sweep, and then the Gargano escape. Beautiful. This is a story, so just a lot of beautiful counters and sequences. Great drama as Kushida does lock on the hoverboard lock. Gargano looks like he's about to tap several times, gets his way to the ropes, and then one final beat on the ramp. They had a ramp on the stage, and then another one into the ring for the win. This match went 24-48. They gave these guys time, and I love that finish. Great job by both, I thought. I gave this 4.25 stars, and you guys, in your predictions on the True Hill Heat Instagram page, were deadlocked, 50%, 50%. You guys are split on this.
Wow.
Sid, what'd you think?
Once again, I was wrong, and I should have known better that NXT is not going to give Kashida the push he deserves. I've been saying it for 2 goddamn years. They are spiting my boy, the ace of the junior heavyweights in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But this was his pay resistance. This was his best match on NXT since he's arrived. This was phenomenal. Just a fantastic performance by Kashida. His technical wrestling, his submission work, his transitions, all his counter work. Johnny Gargano, something that always has been kind of an indictment of Johnny Gargano, for as great as he is, sometimes his selling can be a little bit off, especially when it comes into these, very elaborate and, intense finishing sequences. He tends to forget that the other guy's been working on his neck the whole match or working on his leg the whole match. This was the best selling I have ever seen from Johnny Gargano in NXT. He sold that arm like Kashida was beating the crap out of it, because Kashida was beating the crap out of it. Just focused in. This was strong psychology, amazing storytelling. I gave this 4.75 stars. This was nearly perfect. I just felt Kashida should have won here, and the ending was a little bit off for the character that they've been building up of Johnny Gargano being this chicken shit heel, hiding behind the Way. The fact that he became the Johnny Gargano of old, Johnny Takeover, and was able to take down Kushida on his own, just felt a little bit off from the build-up that we got going into this. But in a vacuum, this was a nearly perfect matchup, and that's why he gets 4.75.
See, I kind of have like the exact opposite opinion for the most part. Let me get the star rating out there. I gave it 4 stars, but self-awareness, I have not yet since NXT. I don't watch anything Japanese mostly, but I haven't seen a Kushida match I care about as of yet. Like, yeah, he's good in the ring. I'll give him that. I just don't care. Gargano, I enjoy his highlights. I don't really enjoy his full-length matches so much. But yes, he finally sold. I definitely give him credit for that. Where I disagree with most is I loved the fact that they took out Theory, and then Gargano won this on his own. He's a leader of a faction, however comical they may be. He should be able to show up at the big time and win big time matches on his own and show there's a reason why people are following him. This is why they're the Way, and it's his way. So I love that he got taken out. The girls didn't pop up and distract the ref at any points or cause any shenanigans. Loomis didn't show up to try to screw Gargano out of the title. Like, there was no hokiness. You had two really good ring technicians that you let them do what they do and be good in-ring technicians. I have no idea where they go from here for either one of them.
That's why the finish didn't work. You give Kashida an out because the match was great. So you give Kashida the out so you can go back to it. That's why the finish didn't work.
I want to see a new opponent. I want to see a new challenger. Maybe Loomis, but I want to see where
I
they
don't
go
want to
with that.
see Loomis. We saw Loomis versus Johnny Gargano a few weeks ago, and it was the worst Johnny Gargano matchup in his NXT fucking career. I'm
They
sick
did
of
tease
Dexter
it
Loomis
last week,
dragging down these great characters. Like he did it with Cameron Grimes. We're over that. Don't do it with Johnny Gargano when he's clicking as a heel finally.
That's the way they're going, man. He kidnapped Austin Theory. They teased it last week with Kushida holding the title and Dexter looking at him. They threw you off there.
And they piped in the Dexter Loomis chant too. So
what did they? I didn't even notice that.
I'd prefer Dexter Loomis versus Kushida because then we can get Dexter Loomis as a heel, which he should be. And then, where the hell the promos are going to come from? I'd love to see them figure that out.
That you're not going to get anything. I thought they were heading towards a triple threat match, and maybe there'd be a dirty finish somewhere here, but clean finishes the whole damn night for NXT. Men's Dusty Cup final, MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. I like how Josiah Williams in the beginning called them the must-see kids. Oh, shit. That could be that. Me and Chris, marijuana smoking kids,
Is that the answer they gave? Because I know they had they hosted like a Ask Me Anything kind of thing, but I didn't read it.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't see that.
Zach Gibson tore up MSK on the mic before the match. I loved it. I love Zach Gibson. Before every match, he getting mic time. I like it. I thought Wes Lee had an amazing hot tag. Wow, that was nice. MSK wins with their finisher, but with Wes doing it off the middle rope instead of bouncing off the ropes. 18 minutes, 25 seconds. I thought outstanding effort by both teams. And my pick since the beginning was MSK, even though I may have switched up on the last Wednesday Night Warriors after that awful, awful promo. They survived the awful promo. Triple H gives them another chance. It says, okay, you guys can still win, even after that. Great emotion by MSK afterwards. The weight of winning this all the way from their debut. I gave this match 4.5 stars. I was that impressed with it. And 62% of you also picked MSK to win this.
My pick toward the beginning of this tournament, same gripes, a lot of non-tag teams, but the Grizzled Young Veterans, I thought, made a lot of sense for them to win, right? They were runner-ups last year, right, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
And they seemed like they want to do something with them on the American side this year. So they were my pick. I'm glad I was at least close. I didn't think I knew anything of MSK before they showed up on NXT because I don't watch Impact. But apparently, according to my Facebook reminders, I had a YouTube highlight of them doing the push moonsault thing that I went, what in the hell is this? Like 3 years ago or whatever. So I guess I had some familiarity. But they continue to take my breath away. I am shocked and amazed pleasantly by MSK every time I watch them. They are a bundle of joy to watch. Wesley is going to be a damn star. Nash Carter can be too, but I don't think he'll be Wesley. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter, but I think I said this match was definitely #must-see and soon to be recognized as, at the very least, the tag team match of the year. I gave this match 4 3/4. I freaking loved this match. I couldn't have done anything better. They've nearly killed themselves so many other times that more than I can count. Hot tags galore, ring psychology galore. Everything made sense. Emotion. You had an F-bomb dropped in the middle of the match. Like, everything was great. And I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but I don't think I can think of anything that's going to jarringly shock and concern me more than a suicide diving doomsday device. I'm fans of 4 men in this one match.
Sid, I'm like Marcus. I don't know that much of MSK from Impact, but I do want to say that Wesley in the ring, he looks almost like Ricochet, the way he moves. Is that kind of athleticism.
That's a very accurate comparison. Wesley, or as I know him, Desmond Xavier, has long been one of the best high flyers in the business. And, it's so happy for someone that I've seen, for so many years before coming to WWE, get this type of push coming in the door. It's just great. Like, this is why, for all the stuff that I criticize WWE for, I have to praise them for stuff like this. The push and the focus on MSK and using the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic this year to elevate them to star status was tremendous. And Desmond Xavier had an MVP type performance here. Wesley, the dive to the outside, the Tope Con hero over the ring post to the outside was amazing. Him taking the suicide doomsday device was tremendous. Like, this was just so many great spots. Even the finish with them using the as I like to call it, the blockbuster heart attack. It's just great stuff. Like, it was just great tag team wrestling, and MSK feels like the best babyface tag team to be in NXT since DIY, and that was a long time ago. And yes, there's been great babyface tag teams like the Street Profits, like Broserweights in NXT, but they feel like a real team in MSK. Nash Carter and Wes Lee, the way they move in the ring, the way they know what each other's gonna do, they felt like a team, and their teamwork was the reason why they won this match. This is the best tag team match that I've seen in NXT since last year at TakeOver Portland, when it was the Broserweights versus Undisputed Era. I just love this match. Grizzled young veterans put on a hell of a performance here, and they prove why they should be considered one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling today, because they just hit everything at the right time, and they get the small details of tag team wrestling very well, and how to build up to the babyface's hot tag. They did that great in this matchup, and this was like great drama. And this was the matchup. This was a great change of pace from Gargano and Kushida. Gargano and Kushida was more like a chess match of technical wrestling, while this was kind of the moves match. This was the moves that were going to awe you. These are the moves that are going to be used for the highlights for years to come from this takeover. It was in this matchup. I gave this 4.5 stars. Like I said, the best NXT tag team match in well over a year.
Yes or no? Does MSK dethrone Lorcan and Birch with their tag team title shot that they earned from winning this?
They should. Absolutely. 100%. Birch and Lorcan have felt like placeholder champions since the minute they got those titles. And they came off a series of placeholder champions. Like, the Broserweights didn't get the run that they wanted, so it went to Imperium. Imperium were placeholders until they decided, hey, we want Breezango to get a placeholder title run in here, because they never got a title run, so why not? And then from there, Birch and Lorcan, even though they've got the heel turn, they had the association with Pat McAfee. Ever since McAfee has left, they felt like placeholder champions.
Yeah, I'm gonna similar agree. Like, while it was an upgrade significantly from who they took the belts from, the minute they decided, for no explanation, to take Pat McAfee off of TV, their days were numbered. So regardless of who won this tournament, whether it be the grizzled young veterans, whether it be MSK, whether it would have been Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, whoever won this title is taking those belts.
The Cameron Grimes music video.
The highlight of the night!
So you want to talk about it?
This needs to be the clip. If you're gonna take a clip from this round table, can I just say it should be me waxing lyrically about Cameron Grimes' music video. This needs to be his theme song. This needs to be the theme song of NXT. This needs to be on BET 106 in Park, on MTV TRL, on Uncut. I want to see the uncut version on Uncut at 2 a.m. in the morning on BET. This needs to be on VH1 Best Week Ever. This is the greatest thing that has happened in American television history, not just professional wrestling, but American television history. Cameron Grimes stacking money to the moon, the greatest thing ever.
I'll add one. It needs to be number one on the top 5 at 4 on Hot 97, since we're gonna name things that I don't know are still a thing or not. But this was splendid. I loved every second of this. And as a general statement, I think, which is maybe counterculture to what I normally believe in, because I like my serious wrestling, but I think we need many, many, many more music videos in the world of professional wrestling, because they seem to have been done well now, because generally speaking, companies have found people that understand how to do them properly. So I don't know if Max Caster Ghost wrote this, but this was splendid, and I'm here for it.
Stop it. I think it does fit the character because it felt like O-Town Road. It didn't feel like a hip hop video. It felt like the hip hop country that O-Town Road created. This was just great. I love Cameron Grimes. I have to agree with Romeo. There's been 3 promos this year. 3 promos. Edge's return before the Royal Rumble. Jay White reacting to losing at Wrestle Kingdom 15, and Cameron Grimes, GameStop investor turned $1 million man. That the 3 greatest promos.
$1 million caveman.
$1 million caveman. I love it. This character needs to be a main eventer. This character needs to be NXT champion. He needs to have his own stable. He needs to have a bodyguard. We need to see more Lambos. We need more Cameron Grimes.
Can we rename the finisher from the cave-in to the Game Stopper?
His video needs to be his entrance video.
Yes. We they got these things called dog coins. Dog coins now.
Yes.
Triple threat women's championship. Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez, Io Shirai. I thought early on really good chemistry between all 3. But poor Toni Storm trying to clear the announce table, and the table just falls like a stack of cards. And you can see the look on her face. She's like, fuck. As they try to transition, improvise, and they get to a Toni doing a diving headbutt off the top rope to Mercedes. Io Shirai with a Genius in the Sky moonsault to Toni and Mercedes while Toni is pinning. Mercedes sells knee pain, unable to kick out. This match went 12 minutes, 14 seconds. I gave this 3.5 stars. I thought it was good actually for what it was. I thought it was short, but after that table spot, you just see like it was like the air just deflating. I don't know what goes on from here. I kind of want to see Toni and Io just one-on-one. I think Toni has a gripe not getting pinned here, but it's we're heading towards WrestleMania season. I don't know if they're going to do a takeover before WrestleMania, but they may have someone else in mind besides Toni Storm.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, are they going to do a takeover WrestleMania weekend, like the Friday or something like that, and then do like Hall of Fame before the first night of WrestleMania? Because with 2 nights, we don't get takeover on a Saturday. So I'm interested to see if we get another takeover before WrestleMania. But as far as this matchup, I felt like this was the most disappointing match of the night, and that's not to say that it was bad, because it was a good matchup. It just felt a lot shorter than it should have been, and probably a lot of that was due to the miscue with the table. I think Io Shirai had another great performance, diving. It just said that I feel like NXT or Triple H just tells the ladies, like, just if something goes wrong, just tell Io to climb something high and jump. Just that seems to be the gimmick on each and every takeover, whether it's her jumping off a house, whether it's her jumping off a ladder, whether it's her jumping off a cage, jumping off this light fixture. It's always Io Shirai jumping off of something high at takeover. And this was another example of it. I think Toni Storm performed well. I think Mercedes Martinez performed well. It felt very formulaic. It felt like the triple threat formula, 2 in, 1 out. Didn't feel very unique. And yeah, it was a good match. So I give it 3.5 stars, but I wanted more.
So I didn't hate it so much. I'll give it, I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I'm going to give it 3.9 stars.
The heck is that?
What the hell is 3.9 stars?
I want to give it 4 stars, but it was the most disappointing match of the night.
So
And
that sounds
three
like
and three
three and
quarters.
three quarters.
3 and 3
But I like it.
quarters.
I like it a little more than that.
Okay, all right. You know what? Fuck it.
Oh.
Fuck it.
The only thing that really bothered me was it ran a bit short, right? These are three women that I do want to see in the ring, and they got like, what, 12, 13 minutes or whatever. And it did leave me wanting more, but not in the I can't wait to see the one-on-one versions of this match. Just I wanted more of this, right? I love the spots, the diving headbutt, Io Shirai always trying to be the end of herself. Mercedes Martinez looks like a star, right? So I enjoyed all of this. The cameo that we got also, where Toni Storm put John Cena through a table, was fantastic. I loved that as well. They got a lot inside of those 12 minutes, but it felt a bit rushed, and it just it didn't quite whet my appetite. It's like when you drink a can of soda when you could have had a bottle, right? It's like I want a little bit more, but I don't know if I want another can. So I don't know. I'm left unsatiated here, but nothing bad. Like I can't really say anything bad except the cameraman who kept showing people waiting on the top rope and how short the match was.
We see highlights from earlier before the pay-per-view started. Eli Drake signed a contract.
Eli Drake.
See, I don't watch Impact, so I don't know how that goes. He signs a contract. He's got William Regal there. He sells William Regal. I'll use my own pen. As soon as that happens, I know. Oh, we got a character here. He is now known as
L.A. Knight.
And you know what? It seems like he can talk. I don't know much about him. Sid, you can enlighten me. But NXT can use as many talkers as they can sign.
NXT always needs someone that is different. When you got 101 guys that can work and have a good match, you need some guys that are different. I've heard a lot of people say that they are not high on Karrion Kross, which I get and I don't get, because Karrion Kross did get a big push. He hasn't really had any great matches, but he is different. And he works in NXT because he's so different from everybody else, and they don't have monster heels in NXT. What else they don't have? They don't have really, really strong talkers who are like felt like they were born out of the wrestling womb with a mic in their hand, and that's Eli Drake. Eli Drake.
That's why we're begging Cameron Grimes to push him to the. That's why we're begging, because
exactly.
He's one of those.
Because he's both. He can work and have a good match with anybody, and he can talk his ass off. And he's another one that from when I first saw him before WWE to now, he's improved greatly on promos. He just gets his character right now, and his new character. Eli Drake, the fact that he's the same character just works out for him, in that he could just smoothly go into NXT, and he's going to be doing a shtick that he's been doing for so many years. But he's a guy it's going to get known for his catchphrases, his dummy, yeah, or yeah. So it says all this great stuff. He has very charisma, and he has like the cadence of a Rock in a lot of ways, in the way he speaks, the way he uses his hands, so and kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin in a lot of ways too. But he's a very strong talker, a great character, and he's going to be a guy that could be a welcome addition to NXT, or he could be the next EC3. It could go either way.
And how is he in the ring?
He's solid. That's the whole thing. Like, he's not great in the ring, and neither was EC3. He's more of a guy that I would say is tailor-made to be on the main roster. But his time in NXT, I hope, can get over the character. I hope that we could see more of a Bobby Roode transition, where Bobby Roode wasn't the greatest worker in the world, but he was a great character. He knew what he was saying on the mic, and he was able to get pushed to the main event status. But I hope they can do that with Eli Drake. Shut up, Cash.
No. That was sincere, and I'm glad that you name dropped, because I don't watch Impact either, but that is the vibe that I got. I went, okay, maybe ring-wise, because, again, I haven't seen him work. If he works like EC3, that makes sense. But talking-wise, I went, oh, okay, this can kind of be like NXT Bobby Roode. And yeah, like, they don't have a lot of great talkers. Like, they kind of just make it work. But he has a presence about him, right? I haven't seen any of his promos except for this. But I was like, okay, if he can talk and he can sell me on some stuff about people, that I care more about, because they can't talk, then I'm here for this. The name, though, is abysmal. Like, that's so bad. That's so bad. Like, oof, that's so bad.
It sounds like
I
an
don't know.
XFL team.
Yeah, like, that's the one that didn't make the cut. That's the 9th team or whatever.
Now,
Like,
I think they're picking their own names here. Some of these towns.
so
I know he's from LA.
My
or he's born.
understanding is they go, here's a list of first names, here's a list of last names, and pick something.
Yeah.
Pick a first name, pick a last name, whatever.
And that's why I hate when you or anybody else says, "Oh, they pick their own names." No, they don't. They get a list of pre.
That's not true.
Chosen names.
I know Brandy Lauren. I know she chose her name. And what's the other chick? Darby Allin's ex, Priscilla Kelly. She chose her name too.
But no, they chose their name from the pre-chosen list of names that WWE gave them. Yeah. That's why they're able to say in interviews, yeah, I chose my own name. Or WWE can say, oh, he chose his own name. Because they literally give you the list of names that you could choose from. But they want you to be able to say in interviews, oh, I chose my own name. So if you're upset, you be upset with me.
Yeah, like he couldn't decide to be like, I want to call myself Carrion O'Reilly. Like, he couldn't do that if he wanted to. That wouldn't be an option.
Yeah,
he has a list.
Yeah.
What concerns me most is when he gets called up. Like, is it really impossible to expect him to show up in shiny armor?
Main event: Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. We are reminded that Pete Dunne is only 27 years old. It's a baby in wrestling years. A baby.
I was like, man, he was only 23 when he came into WWE. That's crazy that he's only 27. Like, time goes by fast. It's crazy.
So there will be many, many more years of joint manipulation. And there was a ton of this in this match. I thought it looked great. Finn kicks out of a bitter end. Finn then takes out Pete Dunne's mouthpiece to kick him right in the face. After all that talk by Pete Dunne saying, Finn has a glass jaw. Then he gives him the middle fingers because he can't do any of the other fingers because they're all fucking hurt from the entire match. Pete Dunne was killing Finn Balor's fingers. Coup de grace, 1916 for the win. 25 minutes, 11 seconds. 74% of you were right, picking Finn Balor. Let's talk about the match before what happens afterwards. I gave this 4 stars, a bit under expectations for me. I thought they're well capable of 4.5, maybe even 4 3/4. But still enjoyable, still passable.
I thought this match was great. It was broken into 2 different type of matches. The first match started off slow, so that's how you knew they were going to go a little bit of a length, but it was more of like a technical wrestling matchup, and it felt more akin to O'Reilly versus Balor at TakeOver 31. And then they got into more of like a war of attrition where they were going back and forth, hitting big moves. I love the fact that I've never seen a wrestling match where the heel worked over the guy's fingers for like 70 to 75% of this match. It was done working over the fingers of Balor, and it just made for a very unique type of main event. I thought it was very compelling. A lot of times groundwork can be like dull or be boring for a match, but I felt everything they were doing on the ground and the submission work was compelling. It got you more into the matchup, and I felt like the ending was very strong, and it made Finn Balor look great. So I did give this match 4.5 stars. I thought it met my expectations. I thought this was an excellent main event that made Pete Dunne look like a top guy that is a future NXT champion.
I thought both encounters with Kyle O'Reilly were better than this match. That's why I just went 4
This
stars.
was definitely better than New Year's Evil. I feel like New Year's Evil lived off of TakeOver 31. And although they used the story from TakeOver 31 to have a very good match, it wasn't a great match. And this was a great match, in my opinion.
I gave this 4.5 stars also. I don't want to throw the term around, but in terms of like ring psychology at the least, this felt like a masterclass, right? Like, yeah, he's working over the fingers a bit too much, a bit uncomfortably, but everything, like even when Balor is on the offensive, Dunn's just not letting go of that hand, right? Like he's just holding on to it for dear life. Like this is my only shot to win this match. And I bit multiple times thinking, oh shit, Pete Dunne is about to win this belt a couple of times. Like it hooked me, and usually you can go, no, too early in the show, or oh no, not after that move. But no, I was like, holy shit, Pete Dunne's about to do this. He's about to do this clean, and I bit, and I didn't hate anything. Like I think Finn kind of came back from out of nowhere. He kind of hulked up and powered up a little bit, and I didn't really love that part that much. But still, like he was still selling everything. He couldn't even hold his belt at the end of the night when he did win. He was just like, just wrap it around me. I can't even grab the damn belt right now. Like everything was very well done, and stories were told. And this is what I want in my wrestling. I want athletic stuff, but I want stuff that makes sense, and psychology and selling and just things that I grew up with.
But I feel like it's different from the match with O'Reilly even at 31, which I felt was a better match than this one. I didn't at any point during that match feel like Kyle O'Reilly was going to win the title. The bitter end was a great near fall. That was the closest I felt the entire title run of Finn Balor that he was going to lose the title was on the bitter end by Pete Dunne. So that's another credit to this matchup. But my God, Finn Balor's having a superb NXT Championship title reign right now.
After the match, holy fucking drama. Lorcan and Birch, they jump Finn Balor after while he's celebrating at the ramp. Then Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, all but the save. They're in the ring. Kyle O'Reilly shows mad respect to Finn. They line up all together. They throw up, Undisputed Era throws up the Undisputed Era hand symbol. I thought, me personally, for a second, I thought maybe Finn Balor's going to do it with them, despite his mangled fingers. But Finn does his finger gun very bravely. That's what it would look like, Marcus. That's what it would look like. That is it. Finn does his finger gun. That's also sweet. And then Adam Cole out of nowhere super kicks him. Why? Because he didn't do the Undisputed Era head symbol or what? I don't know what's going on here. But Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly look shocked. They argue with Cole about it. Kyle O'Reilly's more angry about it. And for that, he receives a super kick too. Roderick Strong, they have a nice camera angle. Roderick Strong standing behind Adam Cole, shocked. And Cole leaves the ring while yelling at Roddy to come with him. But Roddy stays and continues to look at Kyle, wondering what the hell is going on. Adam Cole just walks back, keeps walking back to end the show. And wow, I thought great, intriguing drama, nice hook, cliffhanger for NXT to see what is up with Undisputed Era. No Bobby Fish, who was with them last time during the NXT episode. Like, it's not like he's not around. But I guess they just didn't want to include him in this segment to build more drama.
Man, Takeover in general have had a lot of iconic endings. Like you had Kevin Owens turning on Sami Zayn at Takeover Revolution. You had Samoa Joe debuting at Takeover Unstoppable. You had Tommaso Ciampa turning on Johnny Gargano at Takeover Chicago. And now you have Adam Cole turning on Kyle O'Reilly at TakeOver Vengeance Day. This felt like a game changer type of angle for NXT, and it feels like it's set up its next iconic rivalry. The Mount Rushmore of rivalries for NXT is plentiful. You could say you'll have people who say their favorite was Zayn versus Owens, Ciampa versus Gargano, Bayley versus Sasha. Cole and O'Reilly by the end of this year may be in that conversation, because I've seen these guys battle it out in ROH. I've seen them do battle in PWG. These guys know each other like the back of their hand. They've been in each other's life as friends for over a decade now. And I feel on the grand stage of WWE in NXT, this is the type of rivalry that NXT needs. I think that the eventual, and this was another one that from the beginning, I could see the conclusion. Like Ciampa and Gargano from the beginning, I saw the conclusion was Johnny winning the NXT Championship from Tommaso Ciampa. That should be the finale. That should be the end of the story. And this one, you see Kyle O'Reilly needs to become the NXT champion because that's the story that we've seen in the build up to this angle. But he also now needs to beat Adam Cole to become the NXT champion. So we're going to see Cole versus Balor. We're going to see Cole versus O'Reilly. We're going to see a three-way with those three. The real question out of all of this is what's going to happen with Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. And that's what makes it such a compelling storyline to watch on NXT. And that's something that NXT has desperately needed, a compelling storyline, because AEW got like 8 of them going on at once. NXT didn't have none. And even with the great takeovers, and they've had great ones, they haven't had a storyline that has really captivated fans. And I feel the Undisputed Era and this breakup is that.
Sid, Kyle O'Reilly ended up coming on top of that feud and Adam Cole in ROH?
No, because
how did that end?
O'Reilly left ROH before Cole, so it was supposed to end at Final Battle 2016 when Kyle O'Reilly won the ROH title from Adam Cole in a fight without honor, but then he didn't re-sign with the company, so they made a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom in 2017, and Cole beat him. And that was his last match before he left to WWE.
And all this drama in the main event, and there's still, TikTok, Mr. Karrion Kross is waiting for whoever wants a piece, Finn Balor. Marcus, what'd you think of this show closing angle?
So you're saying, Sid, we might get a final battle between O'Reilly and Cole?
See what you did there?
I can see them using that. I totally forgot the Karrion Kross thing, so thank you, Romeo. So that's another thing to consider. But as an angle, this ticks so many boxes for me, right? Like, I can understand the logic because for whatever reason, Kyle O'Reilly's telling Finn Balor, you're the real champ, you're the real champ. Obviously, that's going to upset Mr. All-Time NXT champion Adam Cole, right? Yes, you didn't throw.
So you're doing a better job at lip reading or hearing than I was. That's what he said?
Yeah, he said something to the effect of you're the real champ or you are a real champ or something. But it was definitely you and the word champ, and he was giving a lot of kudos to this guy and not all-time NXT champion Adam Cole. And, I mean, I'd imagine that ruffles some feathers. I'd understand Cole taking exception to that. On top of the fact that you're not going to do my logo, right? You're not going to do my undisputed thing, whether you can or not. On top of the fact that I, as the undisputed leader of this group, am not inducting you, but this is trying to induct you. So now I take further umbrage with that.
And there was Kyle O'Reilly, like, he was pointing at his Undisputed Era logo, right, on his shirt.
Yeah.
And I thought he was like, oh, maybe you should like join us or something like that.
And that's not O'Reilly's call. Like, I love the guy, but that's not O'Reilly's call. So kick to the face for you, for everything about this, not doing the logo, thinking you're going to get invited, being the champ, all of that. I want the belts, kick to your face, and then you over here trying to black and white and black and red the NWO over here, kick to your face, Kyle O'Reilly, because no, this is NWO tie-dye, you know, like we're keeping the band together. So I like this. I mean, I guess at some point you had to split them up and you had to do those stories. Cole makes sense as the heel because Kyle O'Reilly has become beloved, right? I think ever since he was like doing the doctor thing with Dexter Loomis's storyline, I think people were really getting behind Kyle O'Reilly. So, you know, all that stuff, it made sense. The camera angle, like you mentioned, where Cole's walking off, kind of like Kenny Omega did, and then the Young Bucks were hanging back. Roddy Strong is hanging back, and he's not really sure what he wants to do. That's his friend, but that's his friend. So, you know, that.
And I was invested there. I was like, Roddy, don't go with him, Roddy. Don't go.
Yeah.
You better stay there. Don't go with him, Roddy.
I was very, very much invested. I was like, where do Roderick Strong's loyalties lie? That is disputed. So I was like, I want to see this. What makes sense to me is Roddy for now sticks with O'Reilly because Fish is out. And then when Fish comes back and you can get Red Dragon back, maybe it was a long con and Strong was really with Cole. Or maybe he just does his own separate thing and he gets called up to not do anything in the mid card on the main roster or whatever. I want to see everything that happens with this. I'm fully invested. I'm fully enthralled. They made things make sense, but keep it interesting as well. Nothing was forced. And then, like I said, I completely forgot about the whole Karrion Kross thing. And then how that factors into, like, to me, this storyline doesn't even have anything to do with Finn Balor. I want to see the Undisputed Era fight it out. And then you also have Finn Balor and the title. And then Karrion Kross wanting to murder everybody over here as well. Like, I can't wait. I think this might be something that and Cameron Grimes, something that might make NXT worth looking forward to now. Because to me, it's been the worst show out of the four for like a year.
Jesus. So let's not go down that rabbit hole. Sid, where do you think Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish stand on this? Where they'll go on this?
I mean, I've always been of the understanding that Adam Cole has a better chance of being a top guy on the main roster if he gets called up with the Undisputed Era. So I would like some version of the Undisputed Era staying intact. So I think that I would like to see Roddy and Bobby turn on Kyle as well and join up with Adam Cole to keep Undisputed Era, and that this is more about taking Kyle on his own because Kyle can stand on his own and has proven himself that he can be a top babyface for NXT on his own. Separate him from the group, then breaking up the group completely.
And he could talk. He could talk a little.
Exactly.
I'm fine with the breakup. There's always money in a reunion. Match of the night, I'm going to go MSK GYV.
I'm going to go Kashida versus Gargano. I love this matchup. This felt like Johnny Takeover back with us and the first great match for Kashida in NXT.
I kind of gave it away. It was must-see, and it was soon to be recognized as WWE's Tag Team Match of the Year. Grizzled young veterans and the must-see kids.
And Marcus, while you're at it, tell us your MVP of the night.
You know, kind of shocking for me in general as well, but Raquel Gonzalez looked like a star. She looked like Rhea Ripley without being shadowed by Rhea Ripley. There's going to be big things with her coming soon until Vince notices that she exists. And it's going to be great television and something that's much needed in any of the women's divisions.
My MVP, he didn't have a lot going on currently, and now all of a sudden he's like everyone's talking about him. Adam Cole, baby. He didn't even have a match, but now he's got the top storyline going, and who knows what's going on from here. Adam Cole.
I gotta go with MSK. Marijuana smoking kids showed out. They gave us the best tag team matchup on NXT in well over a year, and they felt like the best babyface team in almost 5 years for NXT. So I got to give it to Nash Carter, Wesley. What a performance. What a great Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals.
LVP, a.k.a. Jabroni of the night. I'm going to go last because I feel bad about my Jabroni. I'm hoping maybe one of you can convince me. Maybe there's someone else. Sid, who's yours?
Man, this is a tough one because, like I said, everyone looked good on this night. So I'm going to have to think about it. But unfortunately, I have to call out the NXT Women's title match because that was the match that least met to my expectations. Wow. And unfortunately, I have to choose one of these ladies to give the LVP to because I'm not going to give it to Io Shirai. Io Shirai performed great, so it has to go to one of the challengers. Not going to give it to Toni Storm because she is so powerful. She can look at you and make you collapse. So unfortunately, it goes to Mercedes Martinez,
Gotta
unfortunately.
be shitting me.
She took the
pin. Do wrong?
She took the pin here. She's not. I don't feel like we're gonna get a Mercedes versus Shirai. I do think that we're gonna get Io versus Storm moving forward. So she's the one that lost the most out of this disappointing performance out of the three ladies.
Marcus.
Wow.
And you can't say Shotzi.
My pick might also be jarring, and I didn't expect one to jar me. Finn Balor.
Ooh.
What?
Why?
Because this entire run has been, I'm the champion, I have no friends, I have the target on my back, everyone is against me, everybody wants to take this from me. And then after, granted, a very grueling match where he did get his ass saved because he was getting jumped, right? He's looking at Kyle O'Reilly, who they just broke each other's jaws, and he's like, hey, you can trust us. We're a team. You can even join. We've never screwed anybody over before ever in the past. And you can stand with us, and everything's going to be great. And rightfully so, he got kicked in the face for it. You let your guard down as the champ, particularly against the guy you took the belt from and the guy who tried to take your belt. So
no, but to be fair, the end of one of the NXTs, they did almost the same thing, and Finn was gonna stand with them. He did for a bit, and then he pulled back. He got out of the ring.
Yeah,
that made sense. This didn't make sense for Finn Balor
because he stood with them. He deserved that.
Because he stood and he let his guard down against these piranhas, these sharks, two of the three that want his belt.
Just Adam Cole. Adam Cole's the only shark here. He's the one that attacked.
I haven't heard such a convoluted way to explain your choice in quite some time.
Hey, you got a guy who wants your belt and a guy who tried to take your belt, two of the three, and that's assuming Roddy Strong doesn't even care about the title, which I'm sure he does. He just knows he won't ever get it. So, like, hey, what are you doing? Back away as you've always done. I'm still the champ. I still got to watch my ass. I got to deal with Karrion Kross now. I'm not going to go play best friends.
All right. You guys failed in convincing me in another jabroni. I think both of your choices are worse than mine. I'm going with the grizzled young veterans. Not for the match.
Yeah, you're
not for the match. Not for the match. Great match. But this is the second year in a row that they've lost in the Dusty Cup Finals. It's just on that alone. Just on that.
That's not a good enough reason.
Yes, it is.
My reason was much better. She had the worst match of the night, and she's also been working 20 years to have the worst match on a takeover.
That's not her fault. It's not her fault.
That's not her fault.
That's John Cena's fault.
Well, it's because she's Puerto Rican, isn't it? Anyways.
That's why both of y'all won't pick her. That's basically it. I knew it. I wasn't going to say it, because then I'd be called the racist. Nah, go ahead.
Thumbs out. And 3, 2, 1, it'll be thumbs up or thumbs down for NXT Takeover Vengeance Day, not to be confused with Valentine's Day. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I even see a thumb cross. Oh shit! I thought you were Finn Balor for a second. Your thumb disappeared. 2 thumbs up. We'll rate this on a scale of 0 to 10. For me, I thought the first 3 matches met or exceeded expectations. I think the last 2 could have done much more for me. But huge angle at the end bumps up the score a little bit. I give this a total 7.4.
Man, you always underrate shit. We had 3 fantastic matches in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic for the men's, in Kashida versus Gargano, and in the main event of Balor versus Dunne. The opener was also great, and the women's match, for everything that I said, with it not coming below expectations, was still a good matchup. And we had a hot angle that sets up for so many great stories and matches moving forward. This was one of the best takeovers of all time. I would say easily in the top 10 and arguably in the top 5 best takeovers from top to bottom. I gave this 9 out of 10.
Holy fuck? And I'm the NXT mark out of all us three. Holy shit.
Yeah, on a show where nothing was less than 4 stars, in my opinion, and it had a hot angle.
Yes, there was. There was one that was 3.9.
Close enough, though. Close enough.
Oh, he's rounding up.
Rounding up. On a show where nothing was below just about 4 stars, and we had a hot angle, and even more importantly, the people that won actually won, which I think is a very underrated stat because a lot of horseshit happens sometimes on shows. And a show where Shotzi Blackheart was on it, and she wasn't one of the worst 3 things, one of my 3 biggest gripes about the show. This was phenomenal. This was 9 stars out of 10. And I'm tempted not to bump it higher because of the Shotzi thing.
What the hell is going on here?
All right, so now it's on you guys watching. Let us know in the comment section below what you thought about NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. Tell us your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, and what stood out the most, and what you think is next for the Undisputed Era after that cliffhanger of an ending. So let us know there. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, your friends, your family. Of course, there's the subscribe button or the iCard. You could click on that to subscribe, and the bell. You press all for all notifications for all the great content right here on True Hill Heat. So, for another pay-per-view roundtable in the books for the connoisseur of all reporting, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
You could follow me, the Pride of NY, on Twitter and Instagram, and right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. True Rewind every week covering the Monday Night War, WCW versus WWF, and the Wednesday Night War, Wednesday Night Warriors, AEW versus NXT.
For the Fringe Heel, the co-host of AE Recap, Marcus Cash.
Yeah, if you want to follow Cole Marcus Cash, my battery is dying without the G on the Twitter. Give that a follow. Important people are starting to do that. My battery is dying with the G on the Instagrams, but more importantly on the YouTube channel. So if you hate Marco Stunt or Shotzi Blackheart or Matthew Jackson or anybody else egregious in the world of wrestling and want to hear a take on the bottom 5 in my weekly rant, give that a follow. I also appear on the True Heel Network for the All Elite Recaps with Jimmy Macram, noted YouTuber as well. So give all those things a follow.
Yes, and you can check me out every single Wednesday live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. BST on the Wrestling Daily YouTube channel with Alex McCarthy, Wrestling Daily, talking about the latest wrestling news, getting into a great debate. Now we're going to be we're going to be on live streaming for the Wrestling Travel podcast every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. BST, so check that out over there. And this coming Friday, I'll be on Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel twice with the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view preview with Joe Hilbert of Fightful Wrestling, and then later on in the evening, immediately following WWE SmackDown, I'll be live with Rick Ucchino on Smack Talk, which is the post show for SmackDown, breaking down everything that happened on Friday night. So check all those things out, subscribe to all those great YouTube channels, and subscribe right here, push the bell to stay notified. So for this NXT Takeover Vengeance Day pay-per-view roundtable review, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are signing off until next time.